Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. After multiple franchises and some intense moments, I'll say it, The Real Housewives needs to end. We, as reality television consumers, have astronomically high expectations. We have been spoiled with such exceptional series that when they don't feel like they're reaching the point of their heyday, we feel let down. Such is the case for The Real Housewives. The early seasons of the OG franchises have an important place in reality television. If you refer to a table flip or Scary Island or that cat meme, it's because of the impact the Bravo shows have had on pop culture. One reason they had such longevity is because of the ability to swap cast members in and out. The show would constantly shift as new friendships and rivalries emerged. And for a long period of time, we've used it as a band-aid. When we didn't like a cast or recognized a show was falling off a cliff, when certain cast members refused to film together, we'd beg Andy Cohen and Bravo for a reboot or recast. And now, it seems the call for change occurs after every season now. It's a dark timeline for the Real Housewives cinematic universe, as we learn that there may be an expiration date for these franchises. Since 2006, The Real Housewives has changed the face of reality television. As each new edition joined the family, they simply took off. They had a similar formula but showcased a different region of the country, and thus different stories. Some of the series were groundbreaking for the women they featured, such as The Real Housewives of Atlanta, or for their pop culture impact, like The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Others just couldn't find their footing, like The Real Housewives of DC, but in the end, the demand for more has always been at the top of Bravo's priority list. Unlike a fine wine, The Real Housewives doesn't age beautifully, and that's partially our fault. Unless you're a flat-out cancellation, fans demand a reset when they believe their favorite series aren't working. But when you do it so often, is it really helping or hurting? Cast swaps help with longevity, but is there actually a sell-by date on The Real Housewives? The shows have shifted from their original mission statement to prioritize highlighting drama at every turn, rather than showcasing the average wife and mother. You know, the reality television tropes. We don't want to see the shows go away, but have certain franchises reach the end of their rope. Perhaps the biggest sign that The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is in trouble was the addition of Rachel Zoe as a diamond holder. Her casting is a major move for Bravo as it marks her triumphant return to reality television. But to drop her into the turmoil currently embroiling the women of 90,210 seems like a last-ditch method to fix the bigger problems the series is facing. If you have Rachel Zoe to distract, then you don't have to force Kyle Richards to talk about her personal life. It all seems calculated, which is ironic. That's how certain storylines have played out. The Real Housewives of New York City has always been a top-tier series. But after Season 13's negative reception, Bravo opted to start from scratch, recast the series, and reboot RHONI. 2 seasons into the experiment, RHONI has a new set of woes. And it's the same issue every other franchise has experienced. Something's not working. And thus, the show is in that infamous Bravo pause. Across the Hudson River, The Real Housewives of New Jersey is facing its own limbo. Because Teresa Giudice and Melissa Gorga refused to film together, causing a rift within the rest of the cast, the show is currently chemistry testing as Dolores Catania is spending the summer with a new Italian-American friend group, as a new East Coast-centric series is on its heels. Does it mean there's a chance these shows could be kaput? With RHONI failing the reboot test, will other shows be unable to attempt the reboot theory? If it's too hard to completely gut a show, there have been ways to fix the chemistry with old faces. The Real Housewives of Atlanta was facing a massive cast drop before Season 16, so they brought back Portia Williams in hopes it would soften the uncertainty of the 3 new cast members. We've clearly learned that the Brit Edie experiment bombed. Right now, the only way to save RHOA is to convince Nene Leakes to come back and shake things up. There's always the opportunity to invite someone who has left and give them less work as a friend of, like Cynthia Bailey on RHOA or Taylor Armstrong, jumping from RHOBH to RHOC. The 19th season of RHOC is trying to bring an old friend back, Gretchen Rossi, back to the fold, but after watching the new trailer, it's hard to wonder if the sell-by date guilty pleasure. A peek into the ostentatious lives of women whose wardrobes cost more than most people's mortgages. The Real Housewives franchise started innocently enough, a glittery, drama-laced social experiment where housewives, a term that became increasingly ironic as careers and cosmetic surgery stacked up, showcased lives both aspirational and absurd. But after dozens of spin-offs, countless feuds, flying wine glasses, and broken fourth walls, I'll say what many whisper behind closed doors: The Real Housewives needs to end. This isn't a takedown rooted in elitism or a jab at reality TV as a whole. Reality TV has its place, but the core problem is saturation. What was once novel has become numbing. We've seen every variation of the woman-scorned, friend group civil war, lavish vacation goes horribly wrong scenario. We've seen friendships forged and fractured faster than a Botox appointment. The formula, once sparkling, now feels fossilized. Think about it. Orange County birthed the franchise in 2006. It was unique then, a microscope on suburban luxury with just enough chaos to keep it interesting. New York added wit and sharper edges. Atlanta brought charisma and unfiltered realness. New Jersey gave us table-flipping Italian energy. Beverly Hills, the glitziest of all, often masking the darkest emotional spirals behind diamond-studded confessional looks. And then came Potomac, Salt Lake City, Miami, Dubai, and every attempted reboot or resurrection of cast members we thought we were done with. Each new iteration promised a different angle, but more often than not, it became a recycling bin of past drama repackaged with new faces. The magic faded not because the women changed, but because the format calcified. The formula is this: take a group of women, preferably with unresolved trauma, put them in opulent settings, stir in a producer or two whispering in their ears, and wait for the explosion. We've watched the same arcs play out across city lines. Friendships sour over miscommunications, rumors spread like wildfire, and alliances form with the fragility of a souffle in a thunderstorm. And let's talk about the emotional toll for the audience and the cast. In early seasons, the drama felt grounded, even relatable. Petty, yes, but human. Over time, storylines have become Frankenstein monsters stitched together from social media whispers, Reddit speculation, and producers' behind-the-scenes manipulation. We're no longer watching real dynamics unfold. We're watching women play roles of themselves, chasing screen time and brand deals. Authenticity, ironically the selling point of reality TV, has become the casualty. It's no coincidence that many housewives now enter the franchise with a strategy. Build a brand, get a glam squad. Cry just enough to seem vulnerable, fight just enough to stay interesting. Lather, rinse, repeat. The show has become a self-aware caricature of itself, a machine that eats personalities and spits out mean fodder. Let's also not ignore the mental health implications. Over the years, we've seen divorces, substance abuse, legal battles, and complete emotional breakdowns play out in real time. And it's often hard to tell where entertainment ends and exploitation begins. There's a voyeuristic thrill, sure, but that thrill is increasingly uncomfortable. Are we supposed to cheer when a woman sobs about her crumbling marriage on a yacht? Applaud when a cast member confronts a DUI arrest over brunch? These aren't plot twists, they're real lives disintegrating on camera. And yet, Bravo keeps pushing forward, like a train that doesn't know it's out of track. New housewives are introduced with rehearsed taglines and carefully curated personas. Old favorites return after years of absence, only to find the magic is gone, the chemistry fizzled. Ratings have fluctuated, yes, but the real issue is cultural fatigue. The genre hasn't evolved, it's mutated. Faster cuts, messier reunions, more performative tears. But there's a hollowness now, a sense that we've seen it all and nothing new is coming. What would happen if we pulled the plug? There would be an uproar, sure. Bravo fans are notoriously loyal, and Housewives Twitter is a powerful beast. But I suspect the collective sigh of relief would soon follow. The performers, and let's be honest, they are performers, would have time to heal, reflect, maybe even regain a sense of self outside of Bravo's lens. The audience, too, might rediscover quieter pleasures, stories with arcs that end, characters that grow, conflicts that resolve. Maybe the franchise doesn't need to die entirely. Perhaps there's space for reinvention, shorter seasons, deeper storytelling, fewer cast members, more honest reflections. But that would require producers to give up the very things that have become synonymous with the brand: excess, spectacle, and engineered vitriol. And let's face it, they probably won't.